So how long have you been living in the Versa?
About a half a year at this point. I don't know, 6 months. What's up? My name's Joey White. I moved up to California about 6 months ago. I was living too far away from my girlfriend. Decided to come out here. I just looked for van conversion companies on Google and I found Campo Vans. First place I applied, got the job, and then I was kind of strapped for a place to live. So yeah, this is where my car, which I drove to California from Florida with, came into play. This is Sheila. She's a 2007 Nissan Versa. She's got almost 180,000 miles on it. Lots of good life in her. Yeah. So this is my living room. So this is kind of the main hangout zone when I'm not sleeping or outside of my car somewhere. Yeah. So I usually do my cooking here. I can easily wipe down this surface so that it doesn't get on the carpet. I have my sink right here for doing dishes. This guy comes off, it's just an IKEA bowl. And then we have the water. Oops. There you go. So 2 valves, one's at the tank, one's right here. You can easily just shut that guy off. Drains into a gray water tank, which I can show you guys later. I just have my main little shelf here for my salt and pepper, my soap so that I can do dishes. I've got a little charger down here for when I am either sleeping or working. Big paper towel roll, and then I have my little cabinet back here. So that's where I keep a lot of dry food stuff. When this cabinet's actually shut, I have this little bolt right here. Drill the hole through the head of the bolt. And then to keep this from rattling, because when I started driving around, this would pop out and just kind of dangle, and then my cabinet would open and all this would fall out. I actually mounted a little magnet in here so that the bolt will stay latched in there while I'm driving. I put in this trash can. It's a nice deep trash can with just a little ring that holds the trash can or trash bag in place. And a little lid fits on top of it. This is all plywood bamboo, really nice stuff. When I'm entertaining, I have this big gap feature right here in this wall, so I can spin around, put my feet through, and then 2 people can eat at this table together in a pretty comfy, close environment. So while I'm cooking in this area, I usually leave the window cracked open a little bit, but just for a little bit more exhaust, I have this roof vent up here. So it's just this little on-off switch, and that gets rid of any steam that I will have coming off of my food. This is obviously the main driving, or the cockpit of the van. I have light switches right here. So this one is the overhead light, which you can see obviously when it's darker, and then I have a little underbed light right here to be able to see all of my pantry stuff. So all my Clif Bars, avocados, stuff like that. Down here I have most of my, a lot of my storage, food storage and cooking gear. So I have just this cheap Coleman from REI, plenty of hot cocoa for the cold days, granola, essential for yogurt, and then a lot of my pasta, chips, oatmeal, stuff like that. And then underneath, I have my fuse box. So I just have this strap that comes up. Then you can see mounted under the factory floor of the van, I have my fuse panel, all of the grounds right here, and then all of them marked overhead lights right here, all that stuff. With all of those fuses, we have the Goal Zero, which powers everything I have. So I just have this 12-volt plug right here, and that runs under to the fuse box. But I also have wires coming up from the fuse box here for the switches. Goes all over the van, through the headliner, wires up my lights and all that stuff. If I'm just running LEDs and charging my phone and stuff, it usually lasts 2 full weeks. If I want to charge a laptop or anything more like that, it obviously takes a little bit more. Sometimes I'm charging drone batteries or camera gear, and that will significantly take it down, but usually at least a week of charging stuff. Back here, I have a lot of my clothing storage and other stuff for activities that I'm not doing every day. So I just have this duffel, socks and underwear, main stuff. This guy comes out. Then back here is where I keep my sleeping stuff. So I have a sleeping bag in this, pillow, sleeping pad, extra blankets. Beyond that, I have a duffel that has a slack line in it. I have my backpack and climbing gear back there. And then right down here is where I keep my dirty laundry bag that just stuffs away. And then just like a day pack. I occasionally keep like hammock, chacos, different things. Behind that, just utilizing every square foot of space. I can keep stuff in here. I could keep a pair of shoes or whatever. This is my 6-gallon tank, which feeds into the water tank, and my gray water tank down there. The gray water tank is currently hidden by my window curtains and boots, but you can access some of the like backpack stuff, my like toiletry bag, and if you wanted to, you could even get to some of the stuff in my cabinet. Just a few Homey Touches I've added. I have a little save the date for a couple of my friends, Henry and Olivia there. I've got my jet boil for when I want to make hot meals in the morning, like oatmeal. I have this little light right here, which came out of a Mercedes Sprinter van. Got a switch right on it so that I can see stuff back here in the dark if I need to get new clothes, whatever. And onto the actual bed system. So you just pull up on the factory latch for this, for the seat right here. Hold the webbing. And then release it. And that guy makes a good like 6.5 foot bed. But I bought a like $2 dry bag at Target and then put a little plastic PVC fitting. It fits right over it. It takes like 10 pumps. It's just easier on your lungs. We got that guy. Perfect. So right back here behind the driver's seat, I store all of my window curtains, which I hand sewed. That's a lie, I use a sewing machine. But yeah, each one goes to a specific window and has little magnets to hold them in. And then up here, I just tuck this under the visor, above the visor, but I have a little curtain rod, and this guy covers the whole thing up. Just tuck it over the steering wheel. Yeah, so it's the middle of the day right now, and I have all the blackout curtains on, and it makes it dark enough that I could easily sleep during the day if I was tired enough. I've got my lights on right here. I also have an additional like gooseneck light right here, so if I am sitting at that chair again, I can use this as a study light. USB right here for if I want to charge while I'm sleeping, or I can use the one back here that I was talking about. And I made sure to make my trash can and my sink as low profile as possible so that I can actually sleep 2 people if I want to. It's pretty tight, but I have done it and it is pretty comfortable. So my process every morning when I'm getting up to go to work, I usually just leave my pants right here, put them on like that, come down here, get my boots on, as a normal human would do in a driver's seat, and I'm ready for the day. But if I want to get this ready to drive, I'll take off the window curtains, slide this guy to the side and tuck it up. I can actually take off all of the essential ones to drive somewhere just from this driver's seat.
How long did it take you to build it out?
So over the period of 6 months, I was constantly improving it and like redoing some things, but overall it probably took me a little over a month to get things functional and get wires run and the lights run, and to have like a running sink and all that. I was hoping it would suck the whole trash out with it. My car doesn't have an auxiliary cord or Bluetooth or any of that because it's from 2007. It also doesn't have cruise control, so I use the foot jam technique. But I also have CDs, so classically I listen to the Dixie Chicks. No, that's not the one I was... Hannah. So I got all my CDs right here. When I'm at the light, I can switch them, so I listen to some Jack Johnson, the Mellow Man.
There's traffic in the sky and it doesn't seem...
Thanks for looking at my house, Sheila, and we'll catch you down the road.